This segment is presented in partnership with Down Ticket. TYT and Down Ticket want to remind you that every year is an election year. And with Down Ticket, you could help even the playing field against big money and special interests by contributing directly to your favorite candidate. Just open up the browser on your mobile phone and go to downticket.com.
A Florida woman alleges that medics refused to take her daughter to the hospital because the service would cost too much money, and unfortunately her daughter lost her life. Now, the woman who's making these allegations is Nicole Black, and there has been some investigation into this already, and it seems that there is some wrongdoing by these medics, and I'll give you the details on that. But first, let me give you the whole story. So Nicole Black alleges that her granddaughter gave her a call and said that she was worried about her mom. Her mom had become very sick. Her mom happens to be Black's daughter. So she lives nearby. She runs over to her daughter's home and finds that her daughter is extremely sick. She's bended over toward a toilet. Her lips are swollen. So she immediately calls 911. So since she lived a couple doors down, she immediately ran down to her daughter's. There she found Crystal Galloway, that's the name of her daughter, slumped over the bathroom with her lips swollen, drooling from the mouth. Black said that her daughter was only kind of alert and had passed out. She had recently given birth to a baby boy and had a C-section. And so the mother thought maybe these are complications from the C-section, got to call the cops. Well, the dispatcher actually coded the incident as a stroke. There were a lot of mistakes made, and the question is, were these mistakes? Were things done intentionally? And we're going to give you all the facts. You guys can decide. And again, this investigation is ongoing. Now, the fire rescue units arrived 12 minutes after being dispatched. Rather than put her in the ambulance, they put her in Black's car. They put her in her mother's car, and the mother drove off. The crew said it went back into service immediately. So the whole conversation, according to Nicole Black, as the EMS drivers put my child in my car, was what was best because we couldn't afford an ambulance.
That's what she says the people who arrived told her.
Yeah.
Hey, don't worry, just take her in your car. You won't be able to afford the ambulance because it's $600.
It's $600. Now, the story gets worse. CNN spoke to Black, and here's what she said about the whole ordeal.
They didn't take any vitals. They didn't take any blood pressure. They didn't check her temperature. The whole conversation as the EMS drivers put my child in my car this was what was best for us because we couldn't afford an ambulance.
This is the woman's mom that you're hearing from, Nicole Black. She said she called 911 for her daughter, and that's the picture that you see here. Her daughter had just recently given birth via C-section. Well, Galloway was hospitalized, but fell into a coma and eventually passed away.
So as I was first reading this story, and CNN broke it originally, and it didn't say in the headline that she had died or had gone into a coma. When I saw she went into a coma, it was like a gut punch in the middle of the story. And then it said she died, and I'm like, oh no, she died. Because at first I thought it was an outrageous story of making assumptions about this poor person and not getting them to the hospital in time. But it turns out they had to helicopter her out because as soon as they got her to the hospital and actually took her vitals, they're like, oh my God, you're in a lot of trouble. We got to get you out of here and get you to a place that can treat you. She goes into the coma and days later dies. So look, who's right, who's wrong? Because the medics say, oh no, they wanted to go in the car and we were trying to help them, etc.
They claimed, let me be specific, because they had to help this woman down flights of stairs to get her into her mother's vehicle, right, into her car. And so they're alleging, no, we didn't take the vitals inside the home because the home was too small and too dark for us to do that. And then they claim that they tried to do it outside but couldn't because Nicole Black, the mother, rushed off to the hospital. No, but you guys helped the woman into the car.
Yeah, no, there's a lot in their story that doesn't add up. First of all, you take the vitals right away. There's no such thing as a house too dark.
And too small, yeah.
And too small to take vitals? That's not a thing. I mean, you can take vitals anywhere. That's a preposterous thing to say. What if someone had passed out in a closet? I mean, hopefully you can move them out. But otherwise, you take the vitals because you got to go. You got to figure out what's wrong with them, right? That sounds incredibly made up. And then the idea that you call it, they said it was a canceled call. That's how they reported it later. Well, it was not a canceled call. So what's going on? Why are you saying things that aren't true. And then Hillsborough County Administrator Mike Merrill did a press conference, and he is very skeptical about the EMS version of the story. But look, even if you're in that camp of, no, I think for whatever reason the family's lying, and even though their story seems to match up a lot better, I don't know why you're in that camp, but okay, even if you're in that camp, look at the society we live in, where whether it's the EMS or it's the patients themselves, a woman was stuck under a train the other day and didn't want anybody to call an ambulance because she was afraid she was gonna pay too much. Look at how brutal this system is, that everybody's worried about, oh, you can't pay, I should let you die, or you figure out if you wanna die, or take a 10% chance of dying, or a 25% chance of dying. These are the calculations we make while we're either about to go in a coma or stuck under a train, because we have a brutal system. The rest of the developed world has universal health care, so that if you're passed out or under a train, people come to help you, because they're actually humane and decent society. By the way, they also pay less for their health care than we do.
They do, and I wanna note one other thing. So the victim in this story had just given birth, she had a C-section, and there's a pretty big chance that there were complications from that C-section, which is why she got so sick. The mortality rate when giving birth is incredibly high in the United States. In fact, it's the highest in the United States compared to any other developed country. In fact, more than 50,000 women suffer from severe maternal morbidity and from childbirth each year, and 700 to 900 women die each year while giving birth. That is the highest number of all developed countries.
So look, this story is outrageous because, for God's sake, help her. Don't make assumptions about her financial situation. By the way, they had insurance, they were fine. Get her to the hospital, okay? But the part two is the outrage at large in the whole country. So the right wing keeps saying, we're number one. Number one at what? Not in healthcare, we're literally number 37.
Not in education.
We pay twice as much as countries like Canada and Japan. We have worse results. We literally lead shorter lives. We have the worst maternal death rate during birth of any development nation, as Anna just told you. So where's the number one part? And on top of all that, we are in a constant terror dome of, are we gonna get sick? Are we gonna be able to afford it if we get sick? If we get into an accident, can I afford it, or should I just take a chance to die instead? That's insanity. And all this for what? Because we wanna pay less? No, we pay more. We pay more. It makes no sense at all. So who makes all the money? The middlemen. And they're not government bureaucrats. The right wing has lied to you your whole life. And unfortunately, a lot of the media aids and abets them. No, it is the corporate bureaucrats. It's the middlemen of healthcare insurance and all the marketing costs they have, et cetera. That is totally unnecessary. They double the cost, put it in their pocket, and you're stuck under a train wondering if you're gonna live or not. Two easy ways to follow the Young Turks. One is hit the subscribe button down below, then you're a TYT subscriber. And second is ring the bell. And when you do that on YouTube, you're notified of our videos.